Hey everyone, I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Desiree.
And we're bringing you this week's Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide.
This week on the guide, we are right in the middle of our celebratory 100th Guide series. So on this series, we're talking about fun and funny moves that can be started by the follower or the leader. Matt is going to tell you how this works a little bit more.
Yeah. So last week's guide, we covered fun and funny variations for our followers. This week, it's our leader's turn. We get to do our fun and funny variations. And then next week, for our 100th guide, we're going to do a little social dance slash Where's Waldo of these fun and funny variations, where you guys get to try to find them. So our first fun and funny leader's variation is going to be a push break with a double head drape. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So with these head drapes, they're not really supposed to be too structured. You could do 3 head drapes, you could do 4, probably wouldn't go beyond that, but really play around with this based on what the music is doing. For the actual technique, this is just like a push break. We go back 1, back 2, I'm starting to lift the hand and get ready to put it over my follower's head. From here, I'm just putting the hand just above or slightly behind the follower's head. From there, I release it and my follower finishes out the range of motion. I don't want to try to actually force the hand all the way down behind the follower's head. That's not a good idea.
That wouldn't be fun or funny.
Yeah. So we drape the right hand for 3, and then 4 we step forward. I find it's pretty natural to catch the follower closed after this, and then we anchor it out for 5 and 6.
Yep. For our followers there, it's important to keep in mind a few things. 1, the leader always sets the hand height in West Coast swing. So if you go to 2 and the leader starts to bring this hand up, I'm not going to want to keep that same connection vertical down the slot. Horizontal down the slot. I'm going to want to lighten my hand as if it were a feather being lifted into the air and a feather being lifted up into the air. I don't want to give my leader downward pressure or fight my leader. I want to let that happen. The second thing is, while this is like a push break, once we get into this moment here, there's no hand barrier like in a tuck or a push break with 2 hands that would prevent me from bumping into my leader. So instead, what I want to do is imagine that as my leader lifts the hands for these loops, he's almost setting up, or she's almost setting up like a plexiglass barrier, and this is what I perform the push break off of. So take a look, 1, 2, I push break 3 and right here in the middle of us, and 4, I would step back just as I would normally. That's what I would do as a follower to enjoy this move and kind of enjoy the ride of how many head loops is my leader going to do.
Our second pattern also starts from a cross hand hold. Again, whichever one on top is fine. I tend to favor right over left. We're going to start bringing the hands up 1, 2. This is also push break variation. And we smush the hands together here and make almost like a little rainbow. This is called our starburst pattern for 3 and 4. Here I'm hooking my fingers and my thumb around the outside of my follower's hands gently, but I want to create that extra connection surface. I step forward for 5, and then we go into a nice exaggerated body roll. Now on this body roll, what you'll notice is I'm not going to finish the hips settling until actually count 1. So we'll have a little bit of a delayed 1 going into the next pattern.
Why do you do that?
That's because from this position, if my hips landed on 6, there wouldn't be a whole lot that I could do to settle myself to get ready for the 1. So I could step back on 1, but without that settle to prepare my follower to go, that 1 feels kind of herky-jerky.
Awesome. So if we set up for the follower now, what we need to keep in mind is this is going to feel a lot more like a traditional push break, right? There's a handhold that I can compress through and into for this. So in terms of my footwork, my body work, it feels much the same up until that 4 end or that 5 when the body roll gets started. So I want to keep a nice, relaxed, again, connection as my hands are brought up by my leader, and I allow that. I also want to allow my leader to create that bicycle hold. So I don't want to try to force my hands to go in the bottom because that's how we generally follow. My leader's hand shape will mold to my hand shape and allow my hands to go on top. So just get comfy with that. Final thing is you don't have to be a body roll pro to have a nice wave effect action reaction with your leader. So after you get into the 4, keep that nice engaged frame with your lats and your arms connected to your center, but allow your center to be relaxed. And as the leader creates a body wave motion in their body, your body can just flow through that. Might look or feel a little awkward at first, but trust me, if you relax more into it and try to force it to happen, it's actually going to come across and be a fun little moment for you too.
Showing this whole sequence, we start out with those head drapes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do a left side pass here to switch our hand hold. And then we've got our starburst with body roll. 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 1, and 2. That was your guide. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You can check us out online at risingtideswing.com. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter as Rising Tide Swinging Studio.
Bye!